Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zainab Siddiqi, and you're watching Zainflix. Today we have a very special guest with us, Sir Rafeeque Mavoor. He is a scientific illustrator and founder at ScidArt Academy, where he is an instructor and teaching researchers how to make figures and illustrations for their research paper. Hello, Sir Rafeeque. How are you?
Hi, Zainab. Thank you so much. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. And it's a great initiative that you are interviewing scientific illustrators, animators, because many researchers, undergrads are looking forward to get into this field.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need more talented illustrators, medical animators. So this series is going to help many people that for sure. And I have been seeing your growth as well on LinkedIn, which is inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. So I'd like to ask you, you transitioned from pursuing a master's in material chemistry to becoming a scientific illustrator. What inspired this significant career shift?
Yeah, after my graduation in 2016, I came to know that there is a field known scientific illustration where people who have a passion in design, illustration, and a background in research can pursue this field. I was very fortunate to find this field, which uh, uh, then discussed with my professor that I'm considering scientific illustration as a career choice. I was in the preparation of doing a PhD in materials chemistry, but my professor also suggested this could be a, a, a right choice for me, as he also have been aware of my design illustration activities and things like that I have been doing for the institute cultural fest and a few labs I have been working with to create scientific illustration, so which was one of the best choice that I have made. And also I have been seeing the challenges that scientific researchers going through while preparing figures for their paper, because I knew a little bit of design tools, so many researchers used to get in touch with me to help them in figures. So they spend almost 1 week 2 week on PowerPoint to create some figures, which could have been taken only a couple of hours 2-3 hours if they knew the right tools, which gave me a lot of confidence, so that because there is a need, there is a community which I can support with the skills that I enjoy. So yeah, that's how it turned out to be. Then from that point onwards, I have been working full time as a science illustrator.
Mhm. Yeah. So speaking of challenges, as you said, when did you exactly realize that there's a gap in the market and the researchers are facing this challenge of creating scientific illustrations or research papers, and then when did you exactly realize that there's this gap in the market and then you started adopting this as a complete field for yourself to start teaching medical illustration to the people and especially researchers?
Yeah. So 9 years back, I knew that there is a gap, but still today, I think the gap is bigger. Like the opportunities are bigger. So that time, I knew that there are few professors in our chemistry department. I did masters in ISER Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. So I knew some of the professors used to travel to the city, which is 40 kilometers away, uh, to meet some designers in a studio to get basic 3D structures of their materials, polymers, composites, and so on. So they have to go and discuss what their work is all about to a designer. They don't know science, obviously. They work with various commercial projects rather than scientific projects. So I knew that okay, so there is definitely something is missing. At least PhD researchers or master students should get a formal training in illustration, which is not happening. Still, the efforts are unfortunately very minimal. I believe that there should be a dedicated course, at least as an elective for visual communication of science, in any master's or PhD program. So at that time, okay, I knew that okay, there is a gap. Definitely, there is a gap, and then I started searching on internet, and I found few people who took scientific illustration as a full-time career path without a formal training. And I saw many people with formal training, a master's in scientific illustration. So I found both paths. I decided to, try learning by myself. I talked to my professor. This is my interest, and he said, "You can join my lab and help me with my activities. I'll give you a position as a technical assistant." So I spent 2.5 years with him in his lab, assisting in preparing figures, illustration. During that time, I was attending a uh, bachelor's course, in a studio in city in graphic design, which was teaching basic illustration techniques, which didn't help really much. But then I started depending on YouTube tutorials and other various courses. So uh, back to speaking about the gap, um, there were hardly no illustrators that professors could reach out to get help with at that time, uh, which is something need to be fixed. Even today, I do get multiple freelance project requests every week, which I am not able to handle myself. Then I started um, making a website which is called psychomtalent.com, where I have listed um, profiles of various illustrators, animators, so that I could redirect them to that website. So still the gap is big. But speaking of that, there are illustrators, there are science illustrators, but a very experienced, very talented, someone who can really visualize what they can imagine in their mind. Those kind of skill sets are still limited. Even today, I personally struggle to find people who can help me in my projects. There are illustrators, but their skills are still beginner level. They need a very good training and experience and a really good, really strong portfolio. Yeah, and also I recently worked in a pharma company, Novo Nordisk, as a medical illustrator. There also, um, the department was trying to hire medical illustrators. They were publishing, these open positions very frequently. They couldn't find any experienced people for several months and few years. So recently, the case has been changed when I left Novo Nordisk and started focusing full time on this academy, which teaches science researchers how to create scientific figures for their research paper. I could recommend two illustrators from India who joined there as a medical illustrator. So currently, I'm full time focusing on helping researchers pick up these skills, primarily 3D scientific illustration using Blender. So I have prepared a structured course, which is very optimized for mainly chemistry, biology, physics researchers who can create figures for their research paper. So there are very basic level tutorials, and we gradually take it from there to advanced level tutorials. In a matter of 4 days, they will learn the tools very much, and there will be a 1 week post workshop support, which I give to all the participants. During that time, they will complete at least two complete scientific illustration projects. There are 6 projects in total. Many complete all the projects. So far, many researchers could successfully create, professional level scientific graphics involving 3D elements, which is tricky for them to learn. Also, several of them have published journal cover art illustration, which, as you know, takes a lot of skills to create one, and also it is very expensive to hire someone. So yeah, that has been going on for the past 4 years, and we have successfully completed more than 45 workshops. Around 2500 researchers have been trained on how to use Blender primarily, and the community is growing, and yeah, so yeah, that's how it is going so
That's
far.
awesome because I just had recently had a podcast with one of my colleagues, and she also mentioned your name, and I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of people knowing you from different parts of the world." So yeah, that's exciting. Uh,
Yeah,
can you
thanks.
just explain in detail for someone who is interested in enrolling into your ScidArt Academy, what exactly does your course is covering? What exactly is this covering, and what does it offer? And for which people is this course exactly for?
Yeah, so uh, when I was working as a freelancer, I used to get many messages on LinkedIn like, "Are you teaching me? Can you give me one-on-one sessions teaching?" how to prepare these figures, and are you conducting workshops? Can you come to our institute and conduct a workshop? It was happening very regularly. At least one or two requests will come in 1 month. So it started increasing over time.
Yeah.
Then I found a science communication training platform called SciRio in India. So I could collaborate with them, and we simply designed a 4-day workshop on Blender, which teaches how to create 3D figures, how to create a 3D model, how to add colors, materials, and how to set up a scene, and how to create a final image that can directly be placed in a PowerPoint or a document file. Uh, so that's was the workshop. Then I got an invitation from IIT Gandhinagar, where we created a course which teaches 3 free tools. That is also a challenge for researchers. So one is Inkscape, one is Blender, one is GIMP. So these 3 can replace all paid tools, but the features are limited in many areas, but they are enough. So we created a course using these 3 tools. They created a very advanced scientific illustration. Course also was successful. Then I thought, okay, let's conduct these workshops regularly, at least once in a month or 2 months. And it is a structured workshop only for science researchers, primarily chemistry, biology, then physics. Math people rarely join, but they are also welcome to join. But most of the researchers who are benefited from this workshop are working on materials, energy storage, medicinal chemistry, structural biology, those areas, and 3D bioprinting, 3D printing, solar materials, and so on. So, and also under PG students also joined our workshop, to explore scientific illustration as a career choice. So this is a 4-day workshop. Then I designed a 2-month advanced course. So because many of them wanted to learn everything like professionally, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. So I designed a 2-month course which has one live session per week. So I called it Scientific Illustration Masterclass. So it has been going on. So we conducted 6 batches. Around 150 researchers got benefited from that course, where we where I teach everything like fundamentals of graphic design, color theory, typography, preparing figures, advanced sections in Blender, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. Then you currently started several modules on using AI tools in their workflow and so on. So yeah, anyone who would like to learn visual communication of science using Blender 3D visuals can join Blender workshop. And anyone who would like, hello.
Sorry. Hello. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
Uh, that's fine. I'm also not sure whether it is a connection issue from here.
Just something Asian thing.
Asian thing.
Yeah, we can continue.
So from where should I start? So the so
Uh,
far has been recorded.
yeah, it's been recorded. It was yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So where I have been, yeah. So um, yeah, so that course is called Scientific Illustration Masterclass. Should I share some screen or anything?
Yeah,
Like,
you should definitely. Yeah.
all right. So just to give more context about the course, it's a 2-month course where we teach fundamentals of graphic design, visual communication of science. So we go in depth on vector drawing using Adobe Illustrator, because Adobe Illustrator is the go-to tool for scientific illustration. And 3D, we also go to advanced level of Blender, where we teach molecular nodes, geometry nodes, and then there is a module on graphical abstract preparation and a cover art illustration. So in this course, we learn all the paid tools from Adobe, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, yeah. And that's how it goes. So we have split the course into several modules to help them complete all the courses at their convenient time. So that is also a challenge for researchers, because most of the time they will be busy with an experiment, seminar, preparing thesis. So the course is designed in a way that they could complete at their convenient time. We have one live session per week. Most of them do attend, but several of them followed the recorded version of the course. So far it has been very successful, and I would love to show the community page where we handle all the courses. So this is the website of our academy. So there is a dedicated page where we handle all the communication that happened through the workshop. You can see people posting their work. You can see one animation, 3D animation created using Blender, and you can see a figure created by Nikita. This is Karthik, and so they post, and I will be adding feedbacks here. And you can see Anu Mehta. She is currently doing postdoc, and she is looking forward to become a scientific illustrator. And you can she joined as a completely uh, beginner at several of these tools, and she already started become creating really good looking, really good quality figures, illustrations, and so on. And yeah, you can see many discussions are happening there actively. And yeah, this is another channel within the community page. This is like a Facebook group where the
Yeah.
uh, researchers participate in discussion and get feedback on their work. Yeah, this has been the way.
Someone
Uh,
join your community.
Yeah, so if anyone would like to join, you are welcome to join our Blender workshop. So if you don't have experience, but if you are an experienced person, you are welcome to join masterclass. But if you think, okay, you have already all the skills and would love to learn from the community, you can send me a DM on LinkedIn. I will be happy to add in the community, because your discussion can help others as well. So anyone who are completely beginners, are requested to attend the course first, then join the community. The community is not completely open and free yet, but you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I will be able to give you the right direction. How would you proceed? Yeah, so the community has been growing. You can see there are more than 2,000 members. And yeah, so this started 4 years back. We started handling the communication through Telegram group. Then we switched to WhatsApp group. Then we switched to this website. Now everything happens through this website. But still, we do have WhatsApp group for during those 4 days if someone is having some technical issues, so that I can jump in and quickly solve it. But over time, we are planning to completely switch to this platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So how are you able to handle feedback sessions while doing your workshop?
Yeah, so one of the thing that I have been doing regularly throughout all the workshop. So I'll say in the first session, we have 6 projects in total. You are expected to complete at least 2 projects to successfully complete the course, but you are welcome to do all the projects. But if you submit the projects during this 4 day time, I'll be giving feedback on all your submission during the final live session. So that's how I've been giving feedback directly to the participants. But post those 4 days, they are welcome to post them in this community page. There I will be adding feedback in the community page. So yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, would you like to talk about the app that you're building for making 3D nanoparticles? And I was very excited to see that. When are you launching it, and how exactly will it be helping biomedical artists?
Yeah, sure. So one of the dream that I had, from the very beginning is to develop a more uh, efficient, easy way for material chemistry researchers, primarily because that is the area that I work, including structural biology. So researchers always struggle to create 3D models of nanoparticles, lipid bilayer, uh, graphene, carbon nanotube. It is a big problem that yet to be solved. But
Mm.
many who are experienced in using 3D softwares like Blender use Blender. Blender is the best way to go. Still, it is the best way to go, or other paid 3D tools. But it takes a learning curve. So recently, when I started understanding how software development works, I started developing this tool along with one of my developer. Uh, his name is Bilal. And we have been continuously developing this tool. So I'll share the screen. So
Sure.
the idea is to have a 3D editor within the graphic design software where user can simply drag and drop not 2D icons but 3D models itself. So it is a challenging problem, but we are happy that we could figure out that part, and I believe that it is going in the right direction. So we look forward to uh, release the beta version within 1 or 2 weeks to the users. It will be a closed release where we will be collecting feedback from the users, but public release might take 1 month or so. So let me quickly share the screen.
Sure. Yeah, I can see it.
So the app's name is LabCanvas, and it will be a similar tool to any other web designing tool, web graphic designing tool, but highly optimized for at the moment for chemistry and material chemistry and structural biology researchers. Uh, and the idea is simply create a canvas. And first thing I would like to show is the 3D editor that we have. And in the 3D editor, you can simply drag and drop 3D models. So let me quickly import some model. Yeah. So you can import any 3D models that you have and you can manipulate them. It is still in the active development phase. But the good thing that will save a lot of time is this library. You can see we are developing a library. And for example, if I add graphene, so there is a graphene sheet. So there are very basic sliders you can adjust to control its uh, size, breadth, number of layers,
Amazing.
and
That's reducing a lot of work.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Atom size, bond size, atom color. So this will take at least half an hour, to reach to this far in Blender for an experienced 3D illustrator. So it happened, within a minute or so. So this is one, and you can see we are building an active library. So this is lipid bilayer.
Lipids, yeah.
Yeah, and can adjust the width, depth, head size, tail length,
Amazing.
and tail width, splay, and tail kink. So the angle of those chains. So we will be adding more uh, settings to create advanced lipid systems. For example, if you want to embed channel proteins or surface receptors, you could do that the similar way. Anyone who is comfortable with symbols of ways will be able to create. And you can see there is a missile creator count. You can simply adjust. And so this is an early version which has, so this is a locked version in terms of UI. The UI will be like this. And also you can see there is a library. So there will be an array of models readily available, which they can import into the software. I can show you one example. Yeah. So here you can see a nickel form. So it's a well-known structure in material chemistry research. You also might find this similar to the structure of bonds.
Bullets, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So it's a very porous network.
It's like a porous. Hmm.
So there are structures which they can. So it will be hard to create in a web application. So we will make them readily available as a library. So this is one such example. And yeah, here I can show you a one nanoparticle generator. So here it has some ligands, and you can change the type of the nanoparticle, and you can also add crystal lattice. So now it has atoms, and you can adjust the size, you can adjust the atomic layers, atomic radius, length of the ligands, and yeah. So this itself can solve, so many issues related to create figures for a specific category of researchers like material chemists, nanomaterials researchers, and so on. So yeah, and you can see we also added support for proteins, so it is yet to be optimized. Excuse me. And yeah, there is one system for creating metal organic frameworks. What's linker radius?
Amazing. It's just doing it in seconds.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very responsive as well. So yeah. Yeah, so I was trying to learn this programming library for a long time. I'm happy that when the AI came, it made it possible. And also, I would thank my developer who is working with me, Bilal. Yeah. So this is still in early stage, but any one who doesn't have a deep knowledge of any 3D softwares will be able to easily use this tool. So you can see it will become an add-on in the main canvas. So for example, if you go to apps, there is an option called 3D viewer. You can simply install it and it is readily available here. So for example, let me add a lipid bilayer and simply click on add to canvas, and you have that image in your canvas. And this canvas acts like the canvas that you see in Canva or BioRender, and you will have the scientific illustration library here. So these are demo examples. We will add a highly detailed 2D images here, and you can upload image files as well. So, and also you can plot your data using this chart visualization interface.
Amazing. I think it's going to ease a lot of work for the researchers.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Can we also
And yeah,
can we also create the 3D molecule and import it into like Blender for use? Can we do that? Because it's is it possible to export the OBJ file or something like that?
yeah. So that's a very nice question because today I just added option to export the file. So for
That
example,
would be awesome.
graphene. Yeah. So you can click on export
Mm-hmm.
and click on OBJ.
Oh, great, great, awesome.
Let me share my full screen. Visible, I will open Blender. So if it is too long, you can cut the parts which are not necessary,
Ah,
obviously.
obviously,
Uh,
obviously, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll do that.
Entire screen. Okay. Export OBJ. Okay. I'll export it as GLPs so that it has colors. Maybe we can try with lipid bilayer. Okay. Export GLB. What's lipid bilayer? I have Blender open here. So this is the tool that we teach to researchers. You can go to blender.org and start learning it by installing it. Go to File, Import, GLB, Downloads, Lipid Bilayer, Import. Yeah. So you have the 3D model readily available inside Blender. So as a medical illustrator or animator, you can make use of this tool. So I was thinking today, can we make only the 3D version available in one of the page of the website? So
You
maybe
could also, what you could also do is like have a plugin inside Blender for like, for this app. I feel like that
yeah,
would be a lot useful. Yeah.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
know,
that
like you
can
could just
also work.
within Blender, you could choose whatever molecule you want, whatever the width and size you want it, and then it's going to, be there in seconds. But it's amazing. I
Yeah,
mean,
thanks
yeah,
that you have mentioned it. I'll note it down
yeah.
and
So
we'll
when are you
discuss.
releasing the beta version? I'm excited to use it.
Thank you. It will be ready in 1 week for sure. So I'll definitely share the link with you. Yeah.
So is it going to be free or you're going to have some price to it?
Yeah, it definitely going to have a really good free plan. Anyone should be able to create the figures without much involvement of any money. But there will be an advanced plan which has more a library 3D features which will cover up our server charges, hosting charges, and so on. Yeah, but I want this. to be available to a large community of researchers. And also, I'm planning to have add pay as you go model, something like that,
Yeah.
rather than having a
Yeah.
monthly
Yeah.
subscription. We are discussing it.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. This is amazing. Another thing that I was just thinking was if we could just access the PDB library within this app would have been awesome. Is there something like that?
Yeah, yeah, it is on the way. So we have already started. Uh, we have installed the library. So there is a really good library which enables us to import the PDB files directly inside the 3D viewport from Protein Data Bank, and it can be used in the 3D viewport.
Amazing. Awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Excited to have to see the beta version released soon. Yeah. Thank you, Rafik, for sharing that. So I'm just going to go through and I want to know your experience as a scientific illustrator, and I want your advice. So, do you think it is important to have a formal degree to ace in this field of biomedical visualization, or you can just start out as a 3D artist, just a general 3D artist, without having any formal degree? Because I've seen like there are people in US, UK, getting formal degrees in biomedical communication and then pursuing the field, and I feel like they are the people who are earning more, and because they have the credibility. So, what do you have? What's your take on that?
Yeah. So when I started, I also had this doubt, like, for several months. But I always wanted to do a degree. But unfortunately, at that time, there were several bottlenecks. Yeah, also, the degree was very expensive.
It
So,
is.
yeah. And what I realized, there are many science illustrators who are working full time without a formal degree. So, which gave me confidence that, okay, it is possible to become one, but definitely it is going to take more time. But so first of all, I would say, if you are in a good position in financially, and you are also time wise, you have time, or right, uh, go for a degree. There are many degrees on scientific illustration, medical illustration. First, it will save you a lot of time. It will accelerate your journey to the professional field. Second, it will give you more connections, and as you said, it gives you credibility as you have a formal degree. But the good news is, it is absolutely not necessary. You can do it without a degree. So there is a defined path that you can take. Today, with the help of LinkedIn, Twitter, it becomes possible to build a brand. As Zainab, you are doing an amazing job of building your personal brand. So I'm sure that over time, all the experts that we are interviewing, they also will, vouch for your work. So you have saved a lot of time there, building your career. So the thing is, in today, it is very easy to, share your work. So first, uh, have some work to share, and confidently share it on your LinkedIn, if you are and Twitter. And if you are learning, share the journey of your learning phase. Document your learning phase. Today, for example, for the first time, I opened Blender, and for the first time, I created a simple model of a molecule using spheres, cylinders. Share that on LinkedIn. There will be many people who would excited to listen to your story. And that gives you a great advantage, because by the time you complete learning and you are in a good position to take freelance works, you have already made a reasonably good amount of following on LinkedIn and Twitter, who know about your work, who relate to your journey, which happened to me, by the way. When I started sharing, even if it is a simple illustration, I used to post it on LinkedIn. So people started following me to know about my journey of becoming a science illustrator after completing masters. Also, there was a thing, like, because I was going an unconventional path. We are expected to do a PhD and so on. So it is an unconventional path. So many people were excited to learn how that would roll out. So that's what happened to me. And whenever I have a cover art illustration published or a graphic abstract published, I post it on LinkedIn. I tag the authors so they are also notified. So that is enough. That is, I believe, even more powerful way of building credibility today. Uh, so that is one. So always put some amount of time every day, every week, building your personal brand, and then combine it with your learning journey. So once you are ready to pick up works, go to fiverr.com. Fiverr is a freelance uh, community, a freelance website where you can get jobs. If you simply type scientific illustration, medical animation, you will get many listings of freelance illustrators, animators offering their service uh, uh, on that platform. Similarly, you can look at their profiles, what they are listing, what type of work they are offering, how much they are charging, and then design a preset of, or at least one service that you can confidently offer. It could be converting a 2D sketch into a vector illustration using Adobe Illustrator, or it could be as simple as maybe drawing basic graphical abstracts using Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape or Canva also can do the job. So offer that, uh, give a reasonable price for that, and you will get over time, if you are consistent on social media, some freelance projects there. But that is slow. Fiverr can be slow. But in the initial phase, I would suggest let the people that you are offering this as a service. There will be many PhD students also, as you are a medical illustrator, and most of the following that you have are medical illustrator. Reach out to people from pharma companies, biotech companies, people who manage team of illustrators, animators in similar companies, startups who are working in medical field, medical devices, uh, medicinal chemistry. Uh, Reach out to them and let them know that you have this skill and you are offering this service. Don't do it directly. First build a connection and engage in discussion, on their post as comments or so. So over time build those connection. You don't need a lot of connection. You only need a good quality connection, maybe 10 or 15 connection to get a good amount of inflow of freelance projects. And one thing in the initial phase, I would suggest reach out to researchers who are doing PhD in your friend circle or in your immediate connections, and let them know that you will create a graphical abstract, you will create 3D illustration. So in the beginning phase, I would say don't worry much about payment or anything, but it is okay to accept payment. I prioritize the learning. So once I had a certain number of projects that I completed for my friends or the professors that I knew, always the professors used to pay because they have fund. So I did projects for my immediate friend circle. So when they publish their paper, so I have my name on acknowledgement section. I will ask, because my professor strictly told me whenever you get a work published, ask them to include your name in acknowledgement section. Even if they are not getting paid, simply request this. So your name is there on journals, you have credibility, people will recognize. So then build a portfolio, a simple website where you can list all your work. A Google site is more than enough. It is 100% free. Or go to Notion or go to
Yeah.
similar website builders. Simply create a one-page website where you can list all your work. Or even a Google Drive is more than enough.
Yeah.
Add all your projects in a Google Drive as images, and simple. You can share this link as a
I think
non-share.
ArtStation or Behance also works really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Behance also is a
Mm.
good platform. So
Yeah.
the one good advantage of this field is once you show what you have done, you don't need to have you don't need to explain much, because your images, your illustrations, your animations will speak for yourself. So that is a great advantage of this field. One thing I happened to me when I joined Novo Nordisk as a medical illustrator, I was talking to the uh, clinical trial manager from Denmark on LinkedIn. I simply shared my profile portfolio website, Rafeeque.com, and he looked at the work and immediately he realized, okay, I have the specific set of skills that he is looking for. So that's the good thing. And immediately he called me for an interview, and everything went on really well from there. So that is the next phase. Once first you have set of works that is project that is published. It could be animations for educational materials. It could be illustrations for educational materials. EdTech startups are arising all over the place, all over the world. There are many EdTech startups. You can reach out to people working there. Journal of Visualized Experiments is a good platform. I worked there as an Illustrator for 1.5 years. So they are also looking for illustrators.
What
So you
did you
could
just
reach
name?
out. Journal of Visualized Experiments.
Okay.
So it's a scientific journal for scientific videos. So it's a great platform. They have a good number of people working as illustrators as well as animators. You also, Zainab, you could consider Joe as a good platform to go and work as a
No problem.
medical animator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one final thing that I would like to add. So once you have a portfolio, something to show, you can start applying for jobs, regular jobs. All the time, keep creating. You can also create something. Hello.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So where I was. Yeah.
Applying for
What?
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you have a portfolio, start applying for jobs. How do you apply for job? Be active on LinkedIn. There you will find several open positions. And by the way, we are maintaining a LinkedIn page called SciComm Jobs, where many illustration, animation, medical animation job openings will be shared. You can check out that. So that's how it goes. This is a defined path without a formal degree. It can take 3 to 4 years to get a really good job. In my opinion, that is totally fine because you don't have the burden of paying a huge fees and or relocating to another country to have education. Yeah, so this can really work. But if you spend time every day, every week, you can cut down that to 2.5 years, 3 years. So in 3 years, you will be in a good position. I can guarantee that if you have decent skills and good portfolio, you will not have hard time finding jobs because there is good demand for really good uh, scientific artists.
Mhm. So speaking of good demand for scientific artists, do you think that the field of biomedical visualization is still unsaturated? And how can we take advantage of that?
Um, I don't think it is unsaturated, but the demand is for good artists. What I'm trying to say is, even from my experience, there are many science illustrators, animators, but they focus on a narrow area. They don't much upgrade themselves with the skills. Even with the advent of AI and so on, things are changing very rapidly. So one thing I would advise: keep learning. If you are enjoying this field, I think you would enjoy continue learning. So always get updated and improve your skills. Then I think there are many companies like for medical illustration there is Mad Microbes, there is Nucleus Animation, there is one in India, scientificanimations.com. So all these people are hiring for jobs because I do get requests from these hiring people asking for profiles of good candidates. Uh, Even recently, recommended one of my friend who
Absolutely.
learned, by the way, how to use Cinema 4D by himself and created a portfolio. And he got a job at Scientific Animation. Scientificanimations.com. It is one of the leading animation studio. You can check out their website in the world. They have, I think, more than 2 decades of experience in the industry. And he was working there. As a medical animator. So yeah, so which is a really good example. His name is Arun, where he didn't have a formal education. He focused on learning and building a portfolio. Speaking about portfolio, if you think okay, you don't have anyone as researchers who could uh, y- uh, get benefited from your skills, uh, so you can simply go to Pinterest, search for scientific illustration, and simply start creating illustrations or animations of well-known scientific concepts, ideas, or the mechanism of action of a protein or a drug, or illustrations of materials for yourself, for the sake of building the portfolio, so that you can learn as well as build a portfolio. And I can give you many examples from from my immediate circle, and also people who joined the workshops, who later went on to become science illustrators or visual communication of or uh, became science communicators, uh, who took the same path. So the thing is, if you are confident about your learning capabilities, some people need that atmosphere, some people need that immediate connections to continue that learning path, then degree might be the best choice for you. But if you think you are a avid learner, self motivated, then I think you don't have to spend on a formal degree.
All right, so let's suppose that you're 2, 3 years into this field of biomedical communication and you've learned quite a lot of work and you've got some clients here and there, and now you have somewhat a stable income. So, how much do you think an average Indian biomedical animator can earn per year, depending that he has a 2, 3 years of experience?
Yeah, that's a tricky question because especially this field, unlike management, marketing, and so on, this field heavily depends on your skill. Then comes experience. If you are very skilled and you have very good portfolio, you could get a really good payment from the beginning. But if you go to corporate world, they uh, give a lot of weightage to your experience than education, which happened to me when I went to Novo Nordisk. But when I joined Journal of Visualized Experiments, they simply asked for my portfolio. And then later they verified my education, but they are more focusing on, can I create good quality vector illustrations using Adobe Illustrator? That's all they cared about, because they wanted people who can do that. They yeah, so in Novo Nordisk they wanted a master's, they wanted some kind of training in graphic design, animation. So the course that I did, a 1 year course, because I dropped out from the 3 year course, because when I realized it is not helping much in learning illustration and animation, but I had a certificate for that 1 year course completion, which helped me there. So, talking about salary, having that single certificate helped me to get, the package that I asked for. So in India, talking about the payment scale, it's a very huge topic, but I'm sure many people would love to know that. So in the beginning, when I started working as a science illustrator at ICER Tirundapuram, my title was technical assistant in bracket scientific illustration. So there I was working as a project assistant. So I used to get paid around 25,000 Indian rupees. It was 9 years back, because I was not working as a scientist illustrator yet, even though it was called that position. Then I moved to then I moved to ISER Pune, Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Pune, similar institution under central government of India. There I was working as a science illustrator because I had the experience, I had the portfolio. There is a department called Science Media Center. So it is rare that those kind of department exist in educational institution, but ISER Pune was a pioneer, in that area, because the department is, I think, more than 15, 18 years old now. Uh, so there I got slight increment because I only cared about learning. I didn't even asked, how much salary I asked, but I was not, I didn't ask for an increment or anything, because I was very interested in learning by going there. So I got, I think, 10,000 Indian rupees increment. So I'm sure these kind of details not many people discuss, but I am happy to share, because many early stage researchers would love to, I mean, early stage science illustrator would love to get an insight on. These are not, the proper payment that a science illustrator should get, because my path was very different. And in that time, I could only find one science illustrator. There would be couple of science illustrators in India, after a master's or formal scientific research training. But it was very rare to find science illustrator that time. But now we have many in India. So at the moment, people are offered around 60, 70, 80,000 in the starting stage for a science illustrator. If you go to biotech pharma companies, the payment is very high compared to government institutions. You can expect, more than 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. If you go to uh, provided you have at least 4 years of experience. If you have a 5 years of experience, that is a sweet
Mm.
spot. You could ask confidently for a good amount of salary. So even in India, the awareness around this field, medical illustration, animation, is still evolving, but it is evolving in a much faster pace. The biotech companies started advertising for medical animators, medical illustrators, but no one started advertising very early, but other companies started advertising very recently. Even
Mm.
government institutions started advertising very recently for these kind of positions. So the payment scale was very low in the early stage, but it started increasing. One of my friend who completed masters in visual communication after masters in biology got hired. Sorry,
No, that's okay.
got hired at a central government research institution as a science illustrator. She got right after masters 70,000 per month, provided with other allowances in the institute. So I would say as a starting illustrator, it's a decent salary. Unlike traditional illustrators, animators, illustrators are paid well, and depending on your portfolio and your experience, it can vary. It can increase or decrease.
Absolutely. So what are your plans for the future of ScidArt Academy, and how do you envision its role in the evolving community of scientific visualization?
Yeah. So, in the past 4 years, I was conducting this workshop alongside my job. Before 1 year, I left the job and started focusing on ScidArt Academy full time. So, last 1 year, we were actively working on developing the LMS website. So, we are happy to say that we have very advanced, very user friendly, very efficient, very fast, and very responsive website online academy, and which is integrated with the Android and iOS application. So that part has been figured out, and uh, so that is the technical side. But on the vision side, uh, we are working on more courses. So far we had only this Blender course and scientific illustration masterclass. So we are planning more advanced, more specialized courses. For example, we want to include courses on Cinema 4D, Houdini. We had conducted also, I wanted to mention this. We had conducted few workshops on science video production. Like more than 150 researchers joined across different batches. So where a we it was a completely different story where we had professors, retired professors, senior researchers, school students who at the end of the workshop, which was a 10-day program, created very nice movies, and we had a screening sessions and so on. Maybe I will share the details on my YouTube channel, and we will share on LinkedIn. So that also will be included. So our goal is to help science researchers upskill. Our primary target audience is science researchers, but many of the participants are from scientific illustration and animation community, even from Toronto, Canada Institute, which offer biomedical communication masters. We had many joining from there who were looking forward to pick up Blender quickly. So that is the future. And recently we announced a different course in for chemistry audience, so, where other experts, other illustrators, animators, or other researchers with their own expertise could come and teach. So that is the future. Like, we want to offer more skills. For example, recently we offered one course on um, uh, chemical. modeling using um, a tool called Quantum Espresso. So it will help chemistry researchers, where a uh, researchers, 5 PhD holders came and designed their course and delivered their course, and they built a small community of more than 100 plus researchers. So it will be going along the way. So even if you, as a medical animator, Zainab, if you think, okay, at one point in time, you have a passion for teaching, you can simply come and, create this. So there will be a instructor enroll section where you can enroll, and you will have your own dashboard, and you can design your yes, where you have your own dashboard, you will have your own revenue report, you can connect your bank account. That tech part is already done, like we haven't announced it yet. So this pilot program which went with this chemical modeling, which was successful, so that's the future. Like we want a upskilling community platform for academia, where we have exciting courses, but unlike any other platform, it is highly integrated with the community. Just like the community page that you saw for the Blender workshop, it is not like just attend the live session and go and figure it out yourself. It is attend the live session and work with the instructors. Okay. So AI started making waves before a couple of years, but it really started making waves in video, images, I think before 1 year. It is definitely changing. It is definitely going to change the way we create visuals and animations. But it's all about integrating the AI in our workflow. So to give you an example, you have a project to create a medical animation showcasing mechanism of action of a drug. So you can use AI in the beginning to create a storyboard. So what I used to do, I will go to Adobe Illustrator and I will use pen tool, rectangle tool, square tool to create a basic sketch of the storyboard, so that I have something to look forward to while I creating the animation. But now we have AI. We could use AI. For example, we could go to ChatGPT and write a prompt. So I am looking forward to create this animation. Simply create a it is a scene animation, a short animation. Simply create a basic sketch of 3 different scenes. How could I show this animation, and add the details? So it will give you an image with 3 sections showing possible ideas for the animation. So it actually accelerates your creative process. That is the best way to put it. But it is, I'm 100% sure that it is going to take at least several years to create a scientifically accurate uh, medical animation using AI. But you could integrate that in your workflow. For example, you are creating an animation on patient education about, for example, uh,
Yeah, so you were saying about the surgical illustrations.
yeah. So you can integrate AI tools in your workflow as a way to create, for example, storyboards. That is one way to put it. So effectively, AI tools will help you in your planning, which will save a lot of time. But if you are if you are in a learning phase, I would recommend not to use it, because you want to make your creative muscles stronger, at least in the early stages of your career. Then later start using these tools to save time, but definitely use AI tools, because that is the way going forward. That is one example. Then now we know that uh, we can simply convert an image to a 3D model using AI. So there are few tools it can does, but it is not so accurate. But for example, you are working on an animation where you have a hospital scene, where you have a light, a specific way of light that dentist use, for example. You have an image of that. So traditionally what you would do, you will add that image in your 3D software and use that as a reference, and you will model block by block, net by net, wire by wire, everything. But now you can simply add that image into an AI tool. It will create a 3D mesh of the model. it will have some irregularities, it can have some inconsistencies at the moment, but I think it is getting much better. So you can use that tool in your animation instead of modeling that from scratch. It might have taken at least for 3-4 hours minimum to get everything right. So you spend a lot of hours there. So that is how it is going to be. But I believe always the job of creating a medical animation is not going to be taken by AI. If we look at history, when televisions came, people thought education is over, like schools are over. Why would students will go to school and attend classes? Because we have TV. So that was a very confident prediction that made when televisions came. But now fast forward, several decades, we know that the education is maintained by people, but they use these tools in their classrooms and so on. And yeah, that's how it is going to be. But the progress is going to be accelerated. More people will create medical animations. Earlier, it was very expensive, but with help of AI, it can be slightly cheaper or much cheaper in certain cases because people can do much faster. So you will have more work. You can achieve more in shorter time, which I think is only going to increase your earning potential if you are committed and if you are constantly learning and if you are building your personal brand on social media. So because now in my career, this is how it is happening. Earlier, professors will come and they will send PPT or a PDF of their research paper. Now, many professors come with their own version of visualization that they want to achieve, that they created using ChatGPT or Gemini. So they have something to share with me. Okay, see, Rafiq, so this is something that I have created using Gemini. This is how it should look. So uh, even so they are basically optimizing time. They don't have time to make it publication worthy. As professionals, we are focusing on that. So yeah, so that's how it happens. So very rarely only a fully um, a created cover art illustration get published on journals. It happens frequently, but so even professors who didn't have any knowledge of using these advanced tools, they go to AI and then create some prompts and they create some rough draft and they share those with us. So I have many examples, professors sharing those and PhD students sharing those. So it is actively evolving for sure. But if you enjoy medical illustration, I'm sure that you would enjoy learning about AI tools. So always look at how 3D model generation from images is evolving. There are many tools, there are few free tools, uh, and always look at how video creation is evolving. For example, you are working on a device, patient education video. You are educating about a device that used by maybe for injecting insulin. So in that animation, there are several sequences, many scenes you might have created using Maya, Cinema 4D, Blender. But there can be scenes of, for example, people, a realistic video of a patient is interacting with maybe their family or engaging in some activity. You can create that scene with AI. So as a single person or as a small team or as a someone who is learning now can do more. Otherwise, creating that scene could have taken a team of professional camera artists or um, video professionals and so on. But the what we can do now is the potential is increasing. That's how I think I would encourage all of you to look at. Some people are scared it is not going to happen. I'm always excited about how AI is evolving because it is only going to increase opportunities for sure. Thank you, Zain. Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you. All the best. Bye. Yeah, bye.